Hello students, welcome to ShailajaIAS and welcome to the PYQ Decoder course. Today we are continuing with the economy previous year question paper and important themes we are decoding in class 6. Today what we'll do, we'll decode with respect to external sector, international trade, balance of payment, questions linked all around these topics will be discussed based on last 5-6 years of UPSC prelims economic paper with respect to external trade, international relations, institutions, trade balance will all be checked upon. We'll see one by one. Chalo. Payment system. Last class also payment system was in news. Now it is linked to digital trade and international trade as well. Cross-linking is happening in UPSC examination paper. We'll see one by one. Chalo. We'll begin. Consider the following countries: UAE, France, Germany, Singapore, Bangladesh. How many countries among the above are there other than India where international merchant payments are accepted under UPI? Under UPI, how many countries are there? Okay. Under India Digital Mission, UPI is one of the financial instrument, right, to transfer via digitally money. So which are the countries? See here, you have to know idea with respect to payment system with respect to other countries asked in 2025. Otherwise, it's very difficult. And you should know that when he has given 5 or 6 countries, all will be not right. Normally, all the 5 may not be right and only 1 or only 2 also may not be right. When he has given 5 statements, 6 statements. No, normally 3 or 4 will be right out of 6 statements. You can eliminate the least one and the highest one, all 5, or only one. If he has given, you can eliminate those 2 and you can decide. Generally, I am speaking about, not every cases. If you have knowledge first, go with the knowledge. And if you don't have knowledge, then you can end up in 50-50. Normally, if 6 statements are given, 3 or 4 will be correct, and 5 statements are given, 3 will be correct. 6 statements are given, 4 will be correct. However, here UAE, France, Germany, Singapore, Bangladesh, 5 countries are given. Here, except Germany, all other countries, you see, UAE is close friend of India, right? Singapore also accepted UPI, which was in news if you had studied. Bangladesh was also close ally at that time when government was friendly. Except France and Germany, you will have doubts, okay? You will not have doubts with other countries. But here, France also accepted UPI. We can go with 3 pair or 4 pair. If you don't know, I would have gone with 3 pair, but that's a risk I'm willing to take here. However, answer is option 4. Except Germany, all other countries. Germany was also in the process, but still it has not accepted UPI as a merchant payment gateway, international merchant payment gateway. Only 4 was the answer in 2025 question. Clear, friends? Now we'll go next question. Again with respect to infrastructure, logistics and international transport of goods and services. India is one of the founding members of the International North-South Transport Corridor. Just tell me which all the countries it will goes to. It's the question it has been asked. Again, IMF is in news, Indian Middle East Corridor also. Question might come again in the next year with respect to this. All the important trade corridors. Okay, now Strait of Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb, those are also in news. So IMEC, all the important trade corridors becomes very important with respect to IR linked to economy. Here, what is the option? India to Central Asia to Europe via Iran, India to Central Asia via China, India to Southeast Asia through Bangladesh and Myanmar, India to Europe through Azerbaijan. Is there any trade corridor with respect to these countries? Please comment below in the YouTube comment section. Here answer is International North-South Transport Corridor is to connect India to Russia via Central Asia, via Europe, via Iran. Europe and Russia. India to Central Asia to Europe to Russia via Iran and Caspian Sea. Answer is option A. INSTC. is a multimodal trade route connecting Mumbai of India to Russia and Europe through Iran and the Caspian Sea. Now we'll see with respect to global financial institutions. Remember my friends, all these themes which are there will be very important, where questions are coming in those themes again and again. Consider the following statements with respect to IBRD. IBRD is International Bank, okay? It is a World Bank group. It includes IDA and IFC. These are the two agencies that work under IBRD. International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, okay, which is now World Bank. We'll see what are all the statement. It provides loans and guarantees to middle income countries. Yes, for development. If you know the full form, that International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, it works single-handedly to help developing countries to reduce poverty. Does it? It was established to help Europe rebuild after the World War II. Yes, this was the whole purpose or the origin story. And it works single-handedly to help developing countries to reduce poverty. This statement, however, is wrong. And you see, very extreme words used with respect to economic organizations, agencies will normally be wrong. Understood? It works single-handedly to help developing countries to reduce poverty. Is not one of the objective with respect to IBRD. Here options are two pairs, 1 and 3 only. 1 and 3. Clear? So it works here and doesn't work single-handedly. It was mainly for the rebuilding of Europe after World War II, and now it is spread to all other developing and middle income countries. Next question. Consider the following statement with respect to commodity councils. How trade is happening? Questions are asking. India is a member of International Grains Council. Now I don't know. Still, I'll be able to answer this statement with respect to IGC. Why? India is an agriculture first country. Okay? India is an agricultural country. Obviously, being one of the highest population country and agriculture country, corollary that it is a member of International Grain Council. Understood? A country needs to be a member of International Grain Council for exporting or importing rice and wheat. To import rice and wheat, that is your food security, food safety and security, you need to be a member of IGC. Is it right statement? Logically speaking, that just for your food safety and security, you must join. Doesn't feel like this is weaponization of IGC. Normally, International Grain Council, all this will be based on cooperation, not mandatory. Cooperation and not mandatory. So statement 2 will logically not make sense. See, basic food is, okay? Food is a basic fundamental right, basic human right. Many organizations, NGOs are there to ensure that no people or no population or no country will go hunger. Okay, that's why it is not a mandatory. A country needs to be a member. It's not a mandate to get import and export rice and wheat. It's a cooperative organization. Therefore, you can be a member, you cannot be a member. Therefore, you can import and export rice and wheat without being a member of the IGC also. Here, only one pair or statement 1 is the right one. I don't know IGC, but I know India is an agricultural country and we grow grains, millets, rice, wheat. Therefore, as a corollary, India will be a member of IGC. However, it is not a must that you should be IGC. Then only you will be, if you are a member of IGC, you will be able to export and import rice and wheat. Understood? The logic, the common sense, the language of the UPSC to get into the answer. Now, with respect to trade policies and regulations, questions will always revolve around those themes. Keep a note of all these things and revise thoroughly whenever you are studying economy in these units. Statement 1, India does not import apples from United States. If you see North America, Canada and USA, it's a basket, right? It's a granaries basket, orchards basket, fruits. Obviously, walnuts, almonds, dry fruits, all are imported by India from North America. India does not import apples from USA, doesn't make sense. Okay, trade war might be happening, US might have imposed some trade restrictions, still trade is going on. India does not import apples. A blanket statement will definitely be wrong. Okay, I don't know exactly the statement, but seeing the statement and the blanket, authoritative statement is making will be wrong. India does not import apple. Even if one container of apple comes, the statements will lay flat. So statement 1 is wrong. If statement 1 is wrong, directly I can get into the answer. Statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2, I need not go. In India, the law prohibits the import of genetically modified food without the approval of competitive authority. Yes, there is a Genetic Appraisal Committee, GEAC, right, under Ministry of Environment. Then there is FSSAI, Food Safety Authority, Food Safety and Standard Authority, to ensure the products that we are importing are not genetically modified food and they have got approval before importing. Okay, for example, GM soya bean we are importing, and here what we are growing, only GM cotton we are growing. So here environmental relations, environmental regulations linked to economy and trade. So you know that statement 1 is a very blanket authoritative statement which is not correct. Therefore, you can directly get the answer. Statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2 is correct with respect to these variety of questions, statement based questions. Next, again export share and incentive asked in 2023. India accounts for 3.2% of global export of goods. A data given without backing of where this data has come from will normally wrong. Not that all facts are wrong, but whenever a data is given without this where data source is there, normally UPSC will tend to give wrong data because it has not mentioned the source also. Where is the 3.2% of global export goods? What is the source? Not mentioned. Normally statement 1 will be wrong. Many local and some foreign companies in India have taken advantage of PLI scheme. Yes, many of the companies, including domestic and foreign companies which are manufacturing, example Foxconn, Apple products it is manufacturing, it has taken. Statement 2 is right. So here again statement 1 is incorrect, statement 2 is correct. In the budget, in the economic survey, it will give the trade percentage. India accounts for 1.8%, not 3.2% of the global export of goods. Clear, my friends? Whenever a raw data is given and source is not mentioned, UPSC is tend to give wrong data, and it is not mentioning the source also. Understand why studying UPSC and understanding the language, how statements are framed will help you to get your answers in the upcoming 26 prelims. Next, European Union Treaty. This question was asked in 2019 or 20 also. Again 23, it was restructured and asked. The Stability and Growth Pact of European Union is a treaty that statements are limits the level of the budgetary deficit of the EU countries. Stability and Growth Pact. We have FRBM Act, Fiscal Responsible and Budget Management. Similarly, if you see, it is speaking about managing your fiscal deficit. So, limits the level of fiscal and budget deficit of the countries? Yes, right. It is speaking about stability, growth, fiscal responsibility, financial, makes countries of EU share their infrastructure. Are they speaking about any infrastructural sharing? No, Stability and Growth Pact will not make sense with this statement. Enables countries of European Union to share their technologies. Is that the pact? Stability and Growth Pact is about make sure there is EU, European Union, you know. Okay, it's a group of European countries to make sure any weak countries like Greece was in trouble, Turkey was in trouble. So ensure their economy as a whole is stable and growth is not impacted by deficit or loans by some of the weaker countries in European Union. So these two statements, if you are a student of IR and understand international economy, will not make sense with the Stability and Growth Pact. Only one pair will make. So answer will be only one. Only one statement is correct. The SGP, Stability Growth Pact, is a set of fiscal rules designed to limit budget deficit to 3% of GDP for the EU member states. Understood, my friends? Next, global commodity market, global service market, all will be very important. Again, statement 1, Switzerland is one of the leading exporter of gold in terms of value. Very generic statement. Yes, Switzerland is one of the leading exporters of gold in terms of value. Switzerland has the second largest gold reserve in the world. Do you know the data? Do you know the fact? If you know, please go ahead. If you don't know, Switzerland has the second largest gold reserves. I know the gold reserves are in USA, China, France, but in current affairs, I have never read or studied that Switzerland has the second largest gold reserve. You might not know every statement definitely, but still you can arrive at the answer because this is a data and there is no source mentioned with respect to where it is second largest mentioned. Whenever source is not given and it is mentioning a data, normally in economy, UPSC tend to set a trap there. So statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is wrong. Statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect. Switzerland is a major hub for gold refining export. However, US has the largest reserve, followed by France, Germany. I think Switzerland is coming in the down top 10 maybe, but not the second largest reserve. Next, global governance again. Consider the following statements about G20. See, G7, G20, SAARC, BIMSTEC, all this important international organization linked with trade, linked with economy becomes very important in UPSC economy paper section questions. G20 was originally established as a platform for finance ministers and central bank governors to discuss the international economic and financial issues. Yes, after 1999 Asian economic crisis, G20 started as a hub for governors and finance ministers to meet and ensure world economy is stable and there is no crisis involving. Digital public infrastructure is one of the India's G20 priorities. You know, India was heading G20 during 2023. Exam also came with respect to G20 on that year. So answer is both. DPI is yes, one of the India's G20 initiative priorities. So both 1 and 2. Founded in 1999 as Financial Forum after the Asian economic crisis. So G20 evolved to now state level, leadership level, Prime Minister and President level global standard. And DPI is India's one of G20 priorities. Again, with respect to global institutions, rapid financing instrument, rapid credit facilities. During COVID time, one of the organization opened this rapid financial instrument and rapid credit facilities to countries facing liquidity or money problem. Okay, cash or liquidity problem, which is the organization normally whenever country is going under financial stress will come to help. Answer, it's the IMF, right? International Monetary Fund. Recently, Pakistan was removed from blacklist of FT, Financial Task Force, to grey list, and IMF was giving loan. Similarly, Sri Lanka also took IMF loan. Always these are in news, and any new instruments bought whenever world is going economic crisis to help the countries. Whenever IMF or World Bank bring new initiatives, those questions are always asked in UPSC. Here, International Monetary Fund. Okay. To overcome balance of payment issues that IMF has during COVID time, it has brought rapid financing instrument and rapid credit facility. Again, with respect to G20 Common Framework, question has been asked in 2022. It's an initiative. Okay, what is G20 Common Framework? It's an initiative endorsed by G20 together with the Paris Club. There are wealthy countries called Paris Club. They and the G20 members endorse G20 Common Framework. Okay, it's economy related with IR. It's an initiative to support low-income countries with unsustainable debt. COVID time, countries were reeling under debt. So normally these two statements are corollary and cause effect is there. They endorse G20 and Paris Club, and they are supporting low-income countries with unsustainable debt to ensure they are not going under financial stress. So answer will be both 1 and 2. Just because fact he has given, it will be wrong. No sir, you will make mistake, and if you go with just tricks and techniques in YouTube, someone telling just follow tricks and techniques and you will clear. No, UPSC will come up with always new ideas, new ways, but the language, the traps they set will always remain the same. If you think facts are always wrong, if they have given some of the organizations always wrong, no, first go with your knowledge, then apply the common sense, apply whether the language, the grammar is sitting right, then only go with. If you are still not able to answer, then go with the tricks and techniques, but that might not always help you to get the answer. Here both 1 and 2. India is a member of which of the following? AIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, yes. MTCR, okay. Missile Technology Control Regime, ACO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Direct question it was. So all of the above 1, 2, 3. Is India a member of NSG, Nuclear Supplier Group? No, that waiver has been given by USA to India to ensure we get uranium for civilian purpose, useful, peaceful, for energy purpose. For generation of energy purpose, we will be able to use the uranium. Next, again monetary policy and capital flight, international capital question has been asked. We'll see. Tight monetary policy of US Fed could lead to capital flight. Tight monetary policy, that means they are increasing the interest rate. Try to find the corollary. Whenever they have increased the interest rate, that means the money invested there will get high interest rate. Okay, money. Whenever US has tight monetary policy, what happens is from money from India flies again back to USA. Why? There only in their home state, home country, they are getting more interest for their money. So capital flight will happen from India to USA. Correct, sir? Capital flight may increase the interest cost of firms with existing commercial borrowing. Firms with existing ECBs, external commercial borrowings. These are the companies or banks which might have taken loan from the foreign players. If this money, capital flight goes, demand, supply is less, then what happens? Demand will increase. If demand increases, interest cost also will increase. Interest rate also will increase. Why? Because in India, to attract foreign capital, we might have to give more interest to them because they have increased the interest rate in USA. So, yes, capital flight may increase interest cost of firms with existing external commercial borrowings, ECBs. Devaluation of a domestic currency decreases currency risk associated with ECBs. What is devaluation? For every dollar, you are giving more rupee. For every dollar, you are giving more rupee. If it was 88, rupee was devalued, it became 90 rupees. Then if you have taken loan externally for $1, if you have taken 88 rupees, now you have to give back 90 rupees. Does it decrease currency risk or does it increase the currency risk? Here, devaluation of domestic currency will increase the currency risk because for the every dollar he has taken, he has to pay back more rupee now. If any company, organization, bank has taken from external source, then he has to pay back more money. So statement 1 and 2, two pairs are wrong. Sorry, 2 pairs are right and third statement is wrong. 2 pairs only, 1 and 2. Next, my friends, with respect to FDI, foreign direct investment. Which of the following can be included in FDI? See, FDI versus FPI. Okay, one of the key themes. Foreign currency convertible bonds. Yes. Foreign institutional investment with certain conditions. Yes. FII investment. Global depository receipts. These are nothing but global, okay, where global foreign investors will be able to invest in our capital market, stock market via instruments called GDR or Global Depository Receipt. If Americans are investing, it is called ADR, American Depository Receipts. Yes. Non-residential external deposits. That is NRIs, non-residential Indians who are putting their money, deposits in Indian Bank or RBI. Will it be considered foreign direct investment? No. Okay. It will be a debt or liability for RBI because it has to give back this amount to NRI. 4 is wrong. All other 3 are correct because these are coming as investments and bonds which are acting as FDIs. So A, 1, 2, 3. You need to have clarity of the concepts. What are FDIs? What are FPIs? How much amount of percentage of share if they are investing, it comes under FDI. All the definitions, all the clauses should be clear with respect to this. So FCCBs, GDRs or instruments used to raise capital treated as FDI. FPI is treated as FDI if it exceeds 10% investment in a single company, then it will be considered as foreign direct investment. Next question, with respect to currency devaluation, you are seeing how it is linking currency devaluation with respect to borrowing risk, with respect to currency swap we saw in the previous class. Here, the effect of devaluation of a currency. There is a depreciation, there is a devaluation as well. Okay, depreciation with respect to market forces it happens. Devaluation, if a central bank devalues its own currency or if the government does it, it necessarily improves competitiveness of domestic exports in the foreign market. What will happen? Devaluation. For example, for a dollar or any foreign currency, if it was 90 rupees, if you devalue to 100 rupees, then the foreigner, the dollar country, okay, the USA will get 100 rupees and it will be able to purchase 100 rupees worth of goods. Obviously, whenever you devalue, it will necessarily improve competitiveness of domestic exports in foreign market. Because more people will buy, more foreign people, the dollar people, okay, US people will buy because they are getting more product with $1. Now, if it was 90 rupees, it will be 100 rupees. So, you will get more worth of goods and services. So, competitiveness of domestic exports will increase. Just because necessarily is there, if you don't have knowledge, if you don't have conceptual clarity, you will make this statement wrong. But this statement is correct. It increases the foreign value of domestic currency. Does it increases the foreign value of domestic currency? No. Okay. Dollar is same. The rupee got depreciated. It doesn't it is not increasing, it is decreasing the foreign value of domestic currency. Okay, dollar to rupee value is not increasing, value of rupee is decreasing, it is ulta happening. It improves the trade balance. Not necessarily. Okay, there is something called J curve, where some of the goods you have to buy. For example, India is dependent more than 80-90% for its crude oil. Okay, just because, and most of the trade of crude oil happens in dollars. Just because, okay, you depreciated the currency does not mean that trade balance will swing to the favor of India. It not necessarily will improve the trade balance. So statement 3 is wrong, 2 is wrong, only 1 is right, asked in 2021. So you need to have good proper conceptual clarity and you should be able to link the concepts. Clear, my friends? Next, with respect to again Marine Organization resources that was in news in 2021, asked Global Ocean Commission grants seabed exploration. with respect to open seas, you have which clause? UN Convention of Law of Seas, UN clause, UNCLOS. What is the organization that gives seabed exploration and mining rights? Okay, thorium rights we received, right? Thorium rights we received, India received in its economic zone, EEZ zone, to mine, okay, to explore. Which one it is International Seabed Authority under UN clause, not Global Ocean Commission. Always the license giving will not be commission, it will be authority. Sir, the language and see commission. Once you know which language, which bodies will be there for what purpose, you will be able to answer. International Seabed Authority will give mining and exploration license and permission. India has received license for seabed mineral exploration in international waters. Correct, I told you already, thorium. Then rare earth minerals are present on sea floor in international waters. Corollary, yes, rare earth minerals also will be there, are present. So except 1, 2 and 3 are right. Answer is 2 pairs or 2 and 3. Option B. Chalo, we'll go to next. Again, marine economics. If a global crisis happens, okay, sorry, this is macroeconomics with respect to global economic crisis. Already G20 we discussed, it happened. It was formed after Asian crisis in 1999. If a global crisis happens, which policies are most likely to give immunity to India? We saw global crisis in 2008, in 2020, now in 2026 due to Iran war and the oil shock, okay, oil and gas, okay, LPG shock India is facing through. What will be the best policies to give immunity to India? Not depending on short-term foreign borrowings. Yes, they might take their money and fly away. Opening up to more foreign banks, exposure to more foreign banks also is not good. Okay, opening up to more foreign banks will have that exposure to foreign, okay, capital which might take away, which might flight whenever there is a risk of global crisis. Maintaining full capital account convertibility. That is, there are two things. One is current account convertibility, capital account convertibility. Tell me which committee recommended full current account convertibility. So India has a full current account convertibility, but India does not have full capital. Still we are a developing countries. If huge sum of bulk of money which is invested in capital account, if it flows, it will affect India's economic stability. Maintaining full capital account convertibility also is not a prudent policy. So statement 2 is wrong, 3 is wrong, only 1 is right with respect to economic crisis. You can expect these type of question again in UPSC Prelims 2026, the way we are going through crisis. It will not be the same question, the theme will be same. It can be due to LPG crisis, war crisis, how policies of India can be immune, make sure it is immune to the world crisis now it is going through. Okay. The Middle East crisis which is going through, how India can be immune, the question can come. Next, investment characteristics. With reference to FDI, foreign direct investment, which of the following is considered major characteristics? What is FDI? Normally it's an equity in companies, okay, with respect to technology transfer also. So investment through capital instruments in listed firms. It can be FDI, it can be FIIs. Okay, it can be FPIs, foreign portfolio investments also, not necessarily FDI. It's a largely non-debt creating capital flow. Yes, it's an equity flow and it is not creating any debt. That is, they're not giving loan. They're investing here with technology, with company shares. It's an investment which involves debt servicing. No. Investment by FIIs in government securities. Okay, it is not considered necessarily as FDI. So, answer is non-debt creating capital flow. So option B. Clear? Gold tranche, reserve tranche refers to. Again, this refers to the quota with respect to World Bank. Sorry, with respect to IMF. Okay, the loan which it gives whenever countries are going through BOP, balance of payment crisis. This is with respect to a credit system granted by IMF to its members. It's called quota system. Every country has to place some of its golds, currency, dollar under a quota system under IMF, and whenever country is going through this crisis, IMF will help for the countries to come out of the economic crisis. Those are called gold tranche or reserve tranche. Already we saw rapid financial instrument. Now with respect to IMF, again gold tranche, reserve tranche, which were in news. Again, international trade balance. We'll see very quickly. India's merchandise exports are less than imports. Yes, India's goods, we import more, exports are less. However, we are a service surplus country. India imports of iron, steel, chemical, fertilizers and machinery have decreased in recent years. Is it? See, India is a developing country. It has huge appetite for this iron and steel base materials, chemicals, fertilizers. Obviously, imports will not be decreased, it will be increased. So, if I don't know the statement also, I'll be able to deduce through properly, logically understanding of what I have read. Service exports are more than imports of service. Yes, India is a service surplus country. Software, software is the major leading service which India is producing. India suffers from an overall trade current account deficit. Yes, due to goods. For example, with USA we have trade surplus, but with China we have a huge trade deficit, and most of the other countries we have trade deficit. So our current account deficit is there. So answer is 1 is right, 3 is right, 4 is right. 3 pairs, 1, 3, 4. Option D. Clear? Next, again, WTO agreements with reference to trade related investment measures, TRIMs, which are the correct. Quantitative restrictions on imports by foreign investors are prohibited. Yes, during 1991, if you see LPG, quantitative restrictions were asked to be removed from India with respect to WTO. And with respect to WTO TRIMs agreement, quantitative restrictions on imports by foreign investors are prohibited. They apply to trade in both goods and services. Is it? This was a key clause in the WTO TRIMs, trade-related investment measures. They apply to trade in only goods, not in services. If you know, you could answer it. They are not connected with regulation of foreign investment. Though they do not regulate the foreign investment, but they make sure that the ground is fair and free to all the parties that are involved in trading. So trade related quantitative restrictions on imports by foreign investors are prohibited. They are not connected with regulation of foreign investments, and they apply only to goods, not services. For services, there is another TRIM agreement. So TRIM strictly apply to trade in goods, not services, which fall under agreement on services, GATS. They ensure investment measures don't restrict free trade in commodities, not in services. So I hope this session has been an eye-opener and has been very helpful in your UPSC preparation. So again, I'll see you in the next class. Till then, take care. See you.